Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to a live recording of Dropping Jews podcast. I go by Mikhail, and I got my brother on the other end by the name of Meech. What's good, Meech? What's happening, bro?
What's the word?
Tell me something, bro. I'm glad we on this podcast, baby. New year, new beginning, new things, in the swing of things. Things about to change. I don't know. Talk to me, bro.
Man, I'm doing good. I can't complain. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I'm glad we on here, baby. I know it's been time. I was having a discussion with somebody at work, man. They were saying we don't record enough. So I said, what we gotta do? I gotta do better. So we gonna start recording more, bro. So you know what I'm saying? That's on me, y'all. Please forgive me.
Well, I know one thing. I got some juicy stuff for that coworker today because I'm pissed.
Well, go on, speak on it then, Meech.
You know what I'm pissed about? So let me give a backstory. I've been doing some day trading, for the last 6, 7 months. I've been making a little money here and there. It's just nickel and dimes until I can rub them together and make, what I'm saying, a little bit more. $5, $10, $20, maybe $100. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get in where I can. I liken it to the idea of you skim a little icing off the cake. That's my philosophy. You're not trying to take a slice. You're not trying to take the whole cake. You just want a little bit of icing. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy. Well, I got in on this Robinhood, this GameStop situation. And so what's going on right now is that last year on the Wall Street Bets Reddit page, because let me give a backstory. A lot of times if people don't know what Reddit is a website similar to Facebook and Twitter, but usually the people more down to earth and they put you on game. So if I started a Amazon online business and I generated 7 figures, I might come into the particular chat forum and say, "Hey, I had a 7 figure business and on Amazon, ask me whatever you want." And so random people will be asked, and then they'll be answering as best as they can. So a lot of times I go to Reddit just to look at reviews, because it gives a real view of stuff. It's not none of this polished stuff that's online. And so Reddit has every subgroup you can think of. I mean, from car owners to Mustang owners to Tesla owners. You got a Reddit group for people who are into the health field. You got a Reddit group for life after death.
A
You
lot of
got
stuff.
yeah, it's a lot. Every niche you can think of, there's a Reddit group to it. And so they have a stock trade. They have various stock trading Reddit groups. One popular one is Wall Street Bets. And so I will see information on there from time to time, but Monday I caught wind that uh, GameStop was the play. And it's funny because I had looked at GameStop stock price recently, about a few weeks ago, and it's about a few dollars. It wasn't much. I'm like, GameStop probably ain't gonna do nothing. And I looked at AMC, and I almost was about to buy AMC. I'm just like, I'm not gonna buy it. Well, I looked at GameStop stock price on Monday, and it was like $70 per share. I'm like, what? I th-
Like $40 or something.
no, don't quote me on this, but it was like $4, $3 or $4.
$4 and it went up to $70.
Yeah, don't quote me for if the fact checkers fact check me, but from what I understand, it was a few dollars. I think it was no more than $4 or $5. Let me use the range $3 to $5. This is in that range. And at that point when I seen it, it was 70. I didn't know it had got as much as 150 prior to me seeing it. And so one of my buddies called and we talking about different strategies. And so one of the biggest strategies for me when I stock trade is volatility or volume. So when you got a lot of volume in a particular stock, you have a lot of volatility where you can find certain setups and strategies where you can just make a little icing off the cake. You're not trying to be in a trade long enough because you don't know. It can go up, but it can go down just as much as it can go up. So my strategy is like, okay, let me get a swing. So I had put in 15 contracts, and I was just too kind of shaky hands with it. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that would have cost me $450. That's it. Now, Tuesday came around. Uh, you know, is same thing, but this time GameStop price had stabilized, and then I started noticing Bed Bath and Beyond. I started noticing people started giving chatter to AMC, but it hadn't skyrocketed yet. But it was chatter, and there was a few other companies, uh, Nokia, BlackBerry. Man, there was a few other companies. Well, so Wednesday come again. AMC go from $4 up to $20.
That was a steal there, baby.
GameStop at this point is trending between $200 and $300. GameStop just shoot up and when you go into this forum, they pumping it up. Man, we finna get this. We finna get this to $1,000. We finna squeeze the shorts, and I get into that a little later. But we finna squeeze the shorts. So the whole idea was we finna prop this stock up, and so it was a galvanized monolith. That's pretty much what it was. And these particular stocks, it was a galvanized monolith. There was so much excitement on Wednesday. I'm like, forget it. I'm finna give me a couple contracts out on Nokia. Now, those contracts went up to as much as 400 in profit, but I didn't sell it because I'm like, man, tomorrow it's gonna be crazy. Fear of missing out. Well, tomorrow, which is today, 1/28/2021. I say today because this is a day that will live in infamy.
Trying to say
they finna change the regulations behind this because this shit is unheard of. I go to look at my Robinhood brokerage account today, and they told me that you are unable, I'm paraphrasing, you're unable to buy selected stocks. I had Nokia. They said I can only sell Nokia, but I couldn't buy it.
how is that?
I can only sell it, but I can't buy it.
Not like the system in place, bro, to keep you from buying it, huh?
Not only is that with Nokia, AMC, GameStop, and the other few stocks that this group was targeting, they will not allow anybody to buy it. So think about this. If there's no buyers, who are the sellers? I mean, if there's no buyers, right? Let me rephrase that. I fucked it up. If there's no buyers, who are the buyers? If you limiting people from buying, the retail people from buying, who is buying it?
And who is controlling it to limit people from buying it? I thought if it's on the market, it's an open market that they can't do that, right?
This market is being rigged.
You say this system here to keep the rich, huh, baby?
It's been rigged, and so my buddy who I talked to earlier this week, we've been going back and forth because it's just utter madness. I mean, you talk about stocks that's up 700%, 300% 400%. I mean, unheard of. I go on subreddit, it's got up $11 million. It's a guy up $3 million. It's a guy up 100,000, 200,000, 30,000, 7,000, whatever they put in. It was guys that was up that was early on in that trade. And this is the thing. Now, they were holding the stock. They wasn't selling it.
So they bought it and held on to it.
They bought it and held on to squeeze the shorts. Now, here go the background information. There was sometime last year, there was a member on the subreddit group that posted that GameStop was short 140% of its share value. And I'm not trying to complicate it too much for nobody because I'm still learning this stuff too. So bear with me, huh?
Explain that. You said 120, 130 points.
So obviously GameStop been going through some difficulties, especially with the start of the pandemic. And so by the pandemic affecting the brick and mortar sales, you have hedge funds who short stocks. And what shorting the stock basically is, just to simplify it, is borrowing shares from the brokerage that you're affiliated with. So let's just say I'm in Robinhood and I want to short GameStop. I borrow how many ever shares I want to short. Let's just say I want to short 100 shares. I borrow 100 shares from Robinhood. Those 100 shares come from people who actually have GameStop stock. Those shares come from those. So say you had 50, somebody else had 50. Robinhood don't have the share. They will lend out your shares to these short sellers to sell it at a price. So let's say the price is $10 a share for GameStop. These short sellers will sell it at $10 in hopes of the stock price to go down. Yep. Once the stock price goes down to, they put a specific point where they want to trigger the sell-off. And let's just say they put that point at $7. They are getting the credit from the brokerage account from the difference between that 10 and 7. And so the shares they borrowed from you at 10, they giving your shares back. They getting the credit of whoever bought the other shares. You get what I'm saying?
They get that $3 that was at $10.
Exactly. They getting that credit. And so that's how short sellers operate. Now, this is another layer on this, and I'm dropping jewels today, baby. We dropping jewels. Y'all said this podcast about dropping jewels. We gonna drop jewels today, brother. I'm telling you, we ain't on no sucker, no clown. Come on, you already know what it is. Because we need to know this. We need to know what we up against.
Facts.
And so this is the other aspect of the rotating wheel. Robinhood, Ameritrade, Schwab, E-Trade, Tasty Trade, whatever Webull, whatever you use, whatever platform you use, they are the in-between person between you and the clearinghouse.
Facts.
They are the in-between.
Everything got to go through them. They the middleman.
Everything goes through the clearinghouses. And so when you go on Robinhood, all Robinhood goes to the clearinghouse and they fulfill. So the clearinghouse, how they make their money is, believe it or not, they fuck with that the bid and the ask price. So they trimming off a few cents. But when you think about that volume that the stock market happens every single day,
How many?
a bit, just let's just say a billion worth of volume. It's way more than that. Just say a billion worth of volume. You take a few cents off of that, off $1 billion worth of value, because obviously it's way more volume than that.
Kind of like the
You say what?
like the banking system, or like what hackers would do when they would take pennies off accounts, and basically so many accounts, like you said, a billion accounts, and 2 cents off of billions of accounts. That's a lot of money.
And so, Robinhood is getting in trouble because these short sellers, which are big hedge funds worth, have billions of dollars on that asset management.
Hold on,
Go ahead. Go ahead. What you say? I can't hear you.
I say, what's the hedge funds?
You say what?
Hedge funds.
Basically, a hedge fund is risk management. You know, they is preserving and protecting your capital against economic uncertainty. So you have highly people you trust to manage risk. Because like a good example of hedging something is that, okay, say you got $100. Well, you don't trust that your money is going to be the same value in another year. So you hedge against that $100, and let's just say you have because I also gold worth more than that, but let's just say you had a small amount of gold that is equal to the US dollar, the US $100 today, but that gold will have a more of a store of value in the future. Is not going to inflate like that $100 bill, because that $100 bill in a year's time is going to inflate through to money print. So since gold is a finite resource, it will have more of a store of value in a year. Hypothetically, we talk about hypothetically, have more of a store of value than that dollar would hypothetically if it was printed as much as they've been printing. That's hedge. You just hedging your dollar against another asset that can protect you. So if this go down, you will have this risk management. Okay. And so these hedge funds have billions of dollars on the asset. And this particular hedge fund called Melvin Capital, they were one of primary funds that shorted Gamestop 140%. Now that's another thing. Gamestop was shorted 140%. Think about that. GameStop only has 100% of shares.
140%.
So they shorted GameStop 40% more than the actual shares in existence. Boy, I get bored thinking about this stuff, bro. I don't think people on this podcast understand what just happened. The fix was in.
But you told me that at the beginning, though, didn't you? You said they was trying to get the company out of business, correct?
So that's the thing. So with that Reddit post that was last year, that started a wave of picking up on the most heavily shorted stocks right now. And it was a progression. It didn't happen just now, but it was something that had been talked about. But they was targeting some of the heavily shorted stocks, and they was going after them. So really, they trying to make it seem like these are kids and they don't know what they was doing, but really, they was going after the fat cats who are manipulating the market. So I got to mention this about the clearinghouses. The clearinghouses, for one, they manipulate the market. or hedge funds, they manipulate the market because they play with the bid and the ask price. So they can make it seem like there's a big sell-off, and they can make it seem like it's a big buy-off. And there's a psychology in the stock market when you see it going down from 10 to 9 to 8, you want to let go. Well, they could be shorting the stock and you fall and prey right into what they want you to do. And go ahead.
So so say in the person that bought it and it's starting to go down, decrease. I mean, basically with the short sale. So when they sell it, you buy it at that what that $7 price and then get that $3 credit, just like you said with the $10.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically they getting the cake and eating it too. Then
Hold on. So how I rephrase that, I think I missed some.
you saying if they when you short selling right,
Yeah.
buy the option to I'm assuming you saying you buying it at $10, correct?
Yeah, you can put like you can put a trigger order in where you can buy it at $10 and you can sell it. You can have a trigger order trigger it to sell it at a certain price. And so they can manipulate the price enough to where to make you think that even though a lot of people want to buy the stock, they can buy a whole block of stocks, or they can sell off a whole block of stocks, or they can play with that bid and ask price to make you think there's a huge sell-off or there's a huge people running up a stock. And so they do this to the stock market. I'm saying this for context when people say that these Reddit people was pumping and dumping. This shit's it's going on. This manipulation is going on. And so the other thing about it is that company Melvin Capital was squeezed so much because when you short a stock, but the price goes up, the brokerage will have a margin call on you to cover the shares that you borrow. So those 200 shares at $10 that I thought was going to go down to 7, now went up to 20. So now I got to buy these 200 shares at $20. And a lot of you can't trade, you can't short a stock unless you're in margin. So margin is basically a line of credit tied to your brokerage account. So a lot of times these people don't have the money, they using it on margin. And then when you get a covered call, more than what you got in your more than what you have physically available, you got to find the ways to, pay the brokerage.
Damn. So basically, the $200 they gotta buy it now at that $20 cost because it went up.
Yeah, them 200 shares, they got to buy it at that $20 cost because the price went up.
Oh, actually, when it goes down, they don't have to buy it.
No, when it goes down to their particular price point, they exit point, they getting the credit. If it goes up, they gotta buy it. So they could, and what I think what happened Monday is that's why they call it a short squeeze. You squeezing the shorts because what happened is they kept chasing it. Oh, they still shorting it, but then it go up to 40. Then you got to pay. And we're not talking about 10 and 15 shares. We talk about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of shares they shorted. And they owing billions of dollars.
Now they got to try to bring it back down so they don't have to owe that money. Damn, boy, that's the manipulation at its best, ain't it, dog?
But the kids played the game that they was playing. They just gave them that same energy.
Right, I see what you're saying. And now
so once because the thing is, they was trying to prop GameStop up to $1,000 a share. They want to bankrupt the company. And so then a couple of his partners that he dealt, this guy who owned the company, I can't even think of the good guy name, and he's not even worth mentioning his name at this point. He had a couple partners, one from a company called Citadel, Citadel. And then it's another company. I can't think of Paxset. Hold on, what is it? .72.
72. Okay.
I think it's the guy who owned the Mets. He part of this one.
So he had them to counter what they was trying to do, pretty much. Then
No, so what they did was they injected $2.5 billion into his company with a share percentage of the company. They injected liquidity into his company. Now, was
cover the spread.
Exactly. So, but we don't know if they cover a spread. But it's reasonable to assume that money was lent to cover the spread. Now, this is what a conflict of interest. That company, Citadel, whatever, they are a clearinghouse for Robinhood.
I got it now. So that's why they stopped your ass from buying them motherfuckers.
So Robinhood is free commission, but from what I understand, and people correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, Robinhood get a majority of their money from this Citadel company because Robinhood sells order flow information to them.
That's a cold game, bro.
It's a cold game. So the people that's making you money, when they apply pressure on you, like, no, we can't keep selling it because I just put 2.5. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be my like Jada Pinkett said, it's an entanglement.
Hey, what'd you say? Say money, you gotta have money to make money. He had to put the squeeze on because he ain't want to money.
They put the squeeze. So I look at my Robinhood account today. I was up 400. Now I'm down 400. An $800 difference. But you know what? I'm not even mad about it. You know why I'm not mad about it? And I'm gonna still hold on to my Nokia. You know why? Because they want you to sell.
Right.
But look, by them preventing people from buying the stock, it allowed them to cover their spread.
So I gave you this 2.5 billion. I'm not going over it. So
the government was involved in this too, though, and that's what people got to understand. The SEC, yeah, they work for Wall Street. Yeah, they work for Wall Street. I'm sorry I'm talking so much on the podcast, but I think
you real versed at this, bro. I don't know about the stock and everything.
No, because I think this type of stuff when we think that because as Black people, I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes we get so in love with the institutions. Oh, I work for this company. I done got this type of position. I'm an entrepreneur. I flip real estate. Oh, you do, huh? Okay. All right. You still in fiefdom. You know what that is? You still a peasant. You still a peasant. That's what fiefdom is, clown. You still a peasant.
And explain
what's peasantry?
Explain that though. Why you say they still in fiefdom? I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Because ultimately we are. So think about it. A peasant worked the land pretty much for the Lord. But really he worked the land pretty much for the Lord, but the king was over the peasant.
He owned the land.
Pardon me, the knights. The knights, they fought for the king, but the knights were still over the peasants. Then you had the nobility that was above the knights. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think they're in the nobility when they don't have no powers in the institutions that they in. So that's why I say you in fiefdom, because you are a byproduct and you're not the institution, you're a byproduct of it. So all these accolades, these things that you do, you still scared to speak your mind. You still, and you know what I like about this, with what they did on Reddit? For once, you can beat them at their own game.
Damn.
That's power. That's using economics as a monolith, as a way to systematically change people who have been oppressing you hundreds of thousands of years.
I mean, so what they tell you about the stock market then?
It's rigged.
Would you say we'll let you make a little money on these other stocks, but these billion-dollar stocks, baby, we're gonna have to squeeze it out of you now. That's how the rich stay rich, huh?
Yeah, and you know what, man? It's sad because a lot of people lost money today. You know, and me, it was pennies. It was like a grain of sand in a bucket compared to what I seen on some of these posts about hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars that people have lost because the government, the brokerages, and these clearinghouses thought it was a good idea to make sure that these hedge funds cover their spread so they can stay in business. And it's just ridiculous. Now they want to investigate, and this is what the SEC doing now. They want to investigate the trader for pump and dump scheme. You want to investigate the trader when the stock was shorted at 140%, but you want to investigate the trader. The little guy. Hold on, listen. Now I'm finna go there. First, you lock down businesses. You tell people you can't have any customers. Then you don't give these people relief while you stay shut down. And then the relief they get is minimal at best, and people are using it and corrupting the system. You got that layer on top of it. Then people waiting on their checks. People want their stimulus. People waiting on that, and then you telling them they gotta wait for their stimulus. And now they taking, not only, and people think this just stimulus money. No, it ain't just stimulus money. People ain't done that in a whole year. People got money. Some people got money to spend. And you reach a point where you want to take in a little bit of American independence, and you use your hard-earned money, you use it to try to grow it, and you do everything textbook. They say, nah, this game for us. They messing up. And then on top of that, they censoring people on Twitter. Now listen, I have no political affiliation to either party, but it shouldn't be Facebook, Instagram. It shouldn't be their job to be censoring. We have a corporate and government merger that is to suppress free thought and free markets. That's what it looked like to me.
So you think they should Trump?
I'll say this. I don't know enough information about it. I say that. But whether but it's a slippery slope. Because who's to determine what's hate speech and not? And that's what kind of comes up when you start censoring certain people. Well, we don't like you. That's hate speech. Hold on now. I'm just talking about being black in America. And you saying that's hate speech. So I don't know enough about Trump stuff, whether he gave money to these organizations. I don't know enough about that. And I don't trust the media enough to even believe half the shit they be saying. But I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter either. I'm just looking at it from a very rational standpoint. The fact that there has been a merger of corporate and government, and they doing everything they can to suppress free thought, free markets, free speech. This is a concern because it's happening more and more. They suppressed us with COVID. They suppressed us with now they telling us to get a vaccine. Fauci at first said the vaccine was going to be a year and a half. Now he parading around. Oh yeah, the vaccine's good. Listen, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying the optics don't look right from what you said last year. It's going to be a year and a half. Now, a couple months later, you out here, you boy, hey, I need to give Fauci some tap dance shoes because he good at performing. And you could tell you could tell he loved being an actor more than he do about being a doctor. All right, man. I'm done. Let me shut up. I just had to set this up for everybody to understand the climate we in. It's a very touchy climate, and I don't think things are gonna get better in our culture. I heard people say, be hopeful. Uh, and I try to be hopeful. I try to be optimistic, and I think I do a fairly good job of it. But when you deal with something that is so evil at the very core of it, and the people in this country, we have not believed in ourselves enough to push back against this evil. This evil is just cancerous. It's malignant. It's not going nowhere. It's going to rot from within. America's going to self-destruct. It's nobody's going to do it but us. And you see it's happening. The inequality gap is happening. Shit like this, it further and further alienates the middle and poor class to the point where people are going to realize, you know what? You black, I'm white. Well, fuck it, we finna get enough. I looked at a interview earlier. It was a black lady out of Nevada, and she was saying that the governor was holding up their welfare checks. Well, she said they was somewhere in there. I guess there was a church across the street, and I believe the Ku Klux Klan, was in the church, and she walked up in it, and he said, "What you on, nigga?" She was like, pardon me, she was like, "You ain't got like me. I ain't got like you. I don't care if your daughter and my son, your daughter or my son don't get together on. That's not none of my business. But if I ain't getting a check, you ain't getting a check." So,
So then what happened?
or vice versa. Maybe I said it wrong. She said, "If you ain't getting a check, I ain't getting a check." And so what essentially happened is that Ku Klux Klan wizard and this black lady of the Black Panther Party in Las Vegas, they shut down the strip. They was going into casinos. They was taking shit out of the casinos. All that they was like, put it on the governor tab.
What you say? Put it on the tab, huh?
Put it on the governor tab. And I think we had a pinnacle point in our country that we have to not accept the bullshit. And it's getting to a point where it's pissing me off. Like I went up, they got another play now. Now I did it. I put $200 of my own money, and I don't care if I lose it. But the next play now, they going out the silver.
Silver, what's that? Oh, you talking about the metal? I'm sorry.
The silver, yeah, it's a silver trust. So pretty much, they supposed to have the silver deposit. You can claim the silver deposit. Well, JP Morgan be manipulating that market. So now they trying to shoot the price of silver, then ask for them to bring their silver. This is how you attack it. Oh my God. I hate to be like this, but
Hey, I noticed that you use the same financial institutions whenever they always seem like they in charge, like the Goldman Sachs or the JP Morgans and the I don't know. It just seemed like to me they the ones who controlling the flow of the dollar. To me, bro.
No, it is because, but this is the other thing. I'm gonna come off as contradictory when I say that. I do believe America's gonna implode within, but I do believe that there's a new thought process, and even these cryptocurrencies, this is disrupting the old way. Like if you look at how, because I used to get caught up in all the fundamental shit, and that's true. It's true. You got to look at fundamentals. They got balance sheet, they got money, but the new traders are not looking at it in the same way as our parents or grandparents looked at it. They looking at it as, does it have a real world utility? Can I be autonomous? And so what Bitcoin does, in a sense, it makes everything decentralized. So there's no secrecy. Everything's on the ledger. It's no, you can't hide it. So if you had a trading platform that was on a blockchain, you will see all the transactions. Nobody can have this transaction. You can't sell the information to this person, that person. Everybody be able to see it because it'll be decentralized. You know what I'm saying? So that's one good thing that's coming out of the internet that we in is disrupting the old systems. And right now, the old systems want to hold on to it, but I'm just not sure how much longer they can hold on to it.
Let me ask you this: do you think the government find a way to centralize as a decoy or such as you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe China tried to do it and it was unsuccessful. You can't, you cannot centralize Bitcoin now because that will require you to confiscate everybody's wallet. That's impossible. Take everybody's computer. That's impossible. You know, take everybody's server. You know what I'm saying? So the blockchain is there, so it's impossible for them to do that. They could say that the United States would never recognize Bitcoin as a currency, but it don't matter if they recognize it or not. It's just like the barter system. If I trade you this for that and we accept that as a means of currency, that's all that matters. So Bitcoin is still be underground, basically what I'm getting at, whether they like it or not. It's not going nowhere. That's what I believe at least.
You think they can manipulate the distribution of information though, as far as
I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I'm not versed enough to know about that because I question about Bitcoin too, though. As much as I say it's decentralized, I question because there's still a unique code to your wallet that's trackable regardless. It's still unique, and so I have my current concerns about the technology that they have to trace you on there. If that makes sense.
that makes sense. And I, like you said, you can see the implode within America. But you know what I realize now?
What?
Media is playing a big part in trying to keep everything divisive, if you notice now. So they playing this big race card now. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but now it seems like it's being more reported in the media than it is, you know what I'm saying, ever before in life, dog. Like racism didn't just start now. It's been going on. And I think that right now the media is using that ploy to make sure that that situation don't happen. What you was talking about with the Ku Klux Klan and that black lady that was the leader of the Black Panther Party. It's all a mind game, and this is Jedi mind tricks, dog. And we just living in the Matrix for real. I don't mean to sound like what they call it pessimistic, but sometimes you got to wonder about what's
You realistic, brother. You realistic, brother. You speaking truth to power.
uh, but no, I mean, it's just a food for thought when you think about that. Because when I was just hearing you talking about it in the stock market, and it's supposed to be free trade stock market, well, if they can pull a squeeze like that, and this is just one incident with GameStop, you know what I'm saying? The if I don't know if you heard of the black stock or not the black, but the when the stock market crashed and all that shit had to do with people that was in high places that made that market crash.
Yeah.
So you got to understand there's some control mechanism within the stock market where people can control it, like you said, the SEC, those hedge funds, those big financial institutions, they all working together. You know what I'm saying? So it's policies in place, and certain people don't have to follow those policies depending who you are. Because if that's the case, then uh, class wouldn't be a thing as far as being rich, poor, or the working class, bro. It,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, the anger is misrepresented most of the time. They mischaracterized the Boogaloo, or whatever you call it, because not all of those people were bad. It was one of the guys. He was on Jimmy Dore's show. He was gay, but they've been at Black Lives Matter support. They've been at their rallies. They've supported XYZ. But I'm learning that you really have to watch these people in the media. I liken it to that time Katie Couric was talking about Denzel Washington, and he was being kind of mean to her. You remember that? You
Nah,
ever seen it?
I ain't never.
Oh,
But
she basically was trying to ask Denzel about Hollywood and was he a Hollywood person? And he was like, hold on, no, I'm not. And Denzel, he don't play that bullshit.
right.
So what or even at the NBA, these reporters be asking some of these players, you'd be like, what the hell you be on? You know what I'm saying? It'd be borderline like condescending. You gotta pick up on it. And so what these reporters or these writers do is they know that the platform that they work for allows a lot of people to see the information that's coming from them. And so they might mischaracterize a movement, a person, a situation to fit the narrative that conforms to whoever's paying them. And so when we talk about fake news, we talk about that.
Right. Right.
The mischaracterization, like they was talking about these kids, like calling them kids and all these retail, they don't know what they doing. And no, they was using very sophisticated strategies, in my opinion.
Well, you gotta have a suspect, man. That's the whole thing about that's the whole thing about policing. So SEC is so-called policing the trade market now, and so you got to have some suspects. And so you know who fit their protege is these kids, even though they not gonna tell you give you specifics. It's all generalization, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that's the ploy that they've been using for the longest. That's just American history, though. You know what I mean? Because when you're thinking about it, with blacks, they always say, "Well, that's those blacks." You know what I'm saying? When you think of that, what they paint, what kind of picture does that paint, bro? You know,
I agree.
when they say yuppies, you know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, man. It's you know, you know what I realized about America? They fucking love titles, bro. They fucking love titles. If it ain't got a name to it or a title to it, then it ain't relevant. It ain't fucking relevant, bro. So you got to understand what we dealing with, dog. It's a machine that we dealing with. So that's why I think people don't understand about the United States. They always say it's a capitalistic state, and we talked about this before. But it's a lot of other aspects or isms that they follow, but they feel like they a true capitalistic country. I said state. I'm sorry, but country. So this I'm is it mind-boggling? I'm not surprised that they doing it, but that's how you can control how the rich can stay rich, and then the middle class and the poor, you know, if one or two get lucky, that's fine. Then we'll pull them on in. Because then what happens is when that person get pulled in and being rich, then he becomes inundated in that system. So then he reflects what the system is already in place. So he
Right.
on you, even though that's where the fuck he came from, but he forgot that shit. He like, well, shit, I ain't trying to go back there. So look, it's my money or your money right now. I'm rolling with them. So, and that's what happens, dog. It's a crab in the barrel situation that we living in.
Right.
So,
That's all it is.
that's just some real shit. I like the way how you talked about the stock market and the reflection of how America conducts itself, uh, just throughout life in general. So that was beautifully done, man. I think people could appreciate that, and also that was a learning tool, man. Because I'm not a trader like that as far as on the stock market.
And I'm far from a trader. I'm starting to learn certain concepts, but when you start getting deep into this, you realize this is no different than the casino. You know,
Like
you
the lottery.
Think about this. Think about this. The casino loves you when you come in every week and you spend $500, $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week. They love you. The minute you start making $10,000 a week, they harassing you, banning you. And so, and this is the same kind of situation. I mean, oh, we gotta protect you. When have you heard about a motherfucking protecting a regular everyday trader from losing money? Now you want to protect them. No, this is a buck against the establishment. That's what it was.
And
that subreddit group in the last week, I believe, has increased their subscribers by 3 million.
Damn.
This is a new way to get back at the establishment. They're going to use the same tools and methods that they have. And I hate to say it, but it's ingenious. You'll have to you can't shut the whole stock market down. Because if you try to shut the whole stock market down, you're going to be fucking up people's pensions, retirements, people's net worth. So you can't shut that down.
Your ass going to that,
bro. But and the thing is that government is weak. People say government is corrupt. Let's just get to the root of it. Government is not corrupt. Government is weak. You know why government is weak? Because government has special interests. Government never been for the people. Government been for their friends. If they had you know how when they talk about big government, this is so funny thing about these motherfuckers that talk about big government. The big government has never been for the people. The big government has always been for the corporations. So when you talk about big government, you just talk about what form of corporate government you want. You want the Democratic form or the Republican form? Because it's never been for the people.
If it was, it wouldn't be no question of where the stimulus pack, why it's taking so long to get the stimulus package out. And I'm just talking about the people that really are in need. Why is it a debate? Why is it a fucking vote? If that was your mama who needed money to eat and the government had an opportunity to make that happen, why wouldn't you make that happen? Like you said, it's always for corporations, dog. How is it that Ruth Chris gets the same bailout money that Bloom's Cafe get, but they're not able to stand or be open for as long as Ruth Chris is, because Ruth Chris is established. They got money. They are what you call they a national chain restaurant.
Exactly.
But a mom and pop shop over here who, you know, they the ones who are relying on people to come and shop that need that money. They got to close up. They ain't got the same resources that Ruth Chris has, where they had money where they could put aside just for a rainy day. Shit, they had to get money to pay bills each week because they got bills coming in. They surviving just to stand in the game.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I understand it. They, you know, you saw a well that they was for corporate interests when you think of Reagan and fucking you know, whoever else was in charge, man. I mean, man, it's just crazy how you think about it.
Now you're gonna have those people, you know, and granted, I know you're gonna have those people who, you know, have an opposing view to what I'm saying, and you know, you have every right. I'm trying to find a comment I read that was opposing to what I said, and it was an interesting comment. I'm trying to. Oh, to be clear, no, I said people on. Okay, here it is. Yankee fans. People on Reddit got together, drove up the price of GameStop to something much higher than what it was worth. Once the price drops to its value, a lot of everyday people will lose money. Not only Robinhood, who stopped the purchase, TD, SEC halted it. This is now an investigation. To be clear, what is being investigated is what happened on Reddit, not hedge funds. If GameStop feels it product is worth more, there are rare avenues they make that argument. Hedge funds were not colluding. They shorted based on their analysis, right or wrong, most likely right.
I mean, what is it?
You see how they protect? This was not about pumping and dumping, though. I mean, granted, again, there was people who made money off of it, just like anything. These people were trying to bankrupt a bit. This was no pump and dump scheme. This was bankrupting. I've been involved in pump and dump schemes. Not to say that I was the head of it, but I've did pump and dump trades. I've traded on a pump and dump scheme. I got in, I got the hell out, and then the stock dumped. No, they don't. And what I'm saying, this stock, and this is penny stock, so they only go up a few cents and then they are dump. No, this ain't a few cents move. This was not a pump and dump. Trust me, I've seen it the last few months and it wasn't. This was strategically to bankrupt this company, Melvin Capital.
What they got against Gamestop?
They talking about the stock wasn't worth it. Fuck your fundamentals.
How they figure that?
Because the fundamentals don't they don't have the revenue doesn't match the market capitalization. But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The new generation don't care. Look, Tesla's worth $800 right now. They don't care about that.
That's strange, bro. That's strange.
That's what I said. It's a that now they want to investigate the traders and not the man on Wall Street.
But you know what? The crazy thing is, when you was talking about the casino,
Yeah,
same way. People go to the casino, know they're gonna lose money, bro. And they're gonna know they're gonna lose money. But the hopes is like you said, they play on the human psychology, thinking that they're gonna finally hit this one time. And when they hit, they start accusing you of counting cards or maybe doing such and such, or how did you get that? So I'm telling you, man, that casino and the stock market, they very similar in nature as far as how people play it. You know what I'm saying? It's a risk. It's a risk in both situations, dog. So I mean, it's crazy, man.
Oh, and I forgot to mention one of the people who was in on this trade with this Melvin Cap, one of the other companies, I can't think of the name, they went on TV and said the stock was worth less and went public with their comments. Reddit users decided it was worth more and went public with their comments. What's the difference?
They say, well, we're gonna see about that.
What's the difference? They say these Reddit people are pumping stocks. Well, every time I go on CNBC and I look and that little scroll, they show different stocks, red or green, high or low, up or down. Is that not speculative in nature? Every time you bring someone from this hedge fund or this firm or this business, they promoting something. Is that not pumping up a particular asset? They say buy, hold, or sell. Is that not pumping and speculative? So you got to be very careful. And this is the thing, the government doesn't realize is that when you partake in protecting a business interest, you alienate yourself from the same people who pay you. So don't forget who pay you at the end of the day. That's all I got to say.
And in both situations, they don't want to win out of all that because they're gonna tax you.
Until you don't win. You win until you don't win. Right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can figure that out.
Even though when you win, you gotta cut the government a check, right?
Yeah. Well, that goes back to fiefdom. You got to pay the government so the government, you really pay the government for the military. So the military can protect you, just like the knight protected the land of the king. So it's the similar. And nobility always sent the knights out to work. I mean, it's the same construct. The institutions want the soldiers to protect their interests abroad. So it's the same. It's just musical chairs with the fiefdom.
Let them know how you feel, Meech.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my fellow listeners. I just got real upset today because what they did was criminal, uh, and it was un-American. And this is definitely the reason why we have that element in the country that y'all call right wing. And this is definitely the reason why we had that element because people are getting sick and tired of the government continually having institutions back. The government aren't for the people. They never been for the people. They all for corporations. They all for sponsoring. Look at all the insider trading that's going on in Congress right now. And don't tell me that that's not corruption. Listen, call them out. Nancy Pelosi, your fucking husband had option plays, pardon me, on Tesla. Do you not think that's a conflict of interest with Biden being the president and they're gonna pass a lot of EV laws? Come on, man. Get the hell out of here. That's what I'm saying. So it's okay when they do it. We lose though. Mm-mm.
All right, I'm about to ask you, what does un-American mean?
Well, I come from a black man, so let me be cautious. I, I spoke out of term.
I was just asking, man. I thought,
Dang, dog coin went up to 140, 450%.
what's that? That's a part of cryptocurrency?
Yeah. It was at literally you could buy 3,000 shares. You'd be it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, man. Come on, man. Let the people know, man. How you feeling, baby? Give them that last comments, baby.
Man, fuck.
Hey, my man be on that stock market though, boy. Meech be on it, dog. Hey, he said he don't know much about it. Every time I turn, that man be on it.
I got so deep into this because it was personally affected what they did. You know what I'm saying? That was criminal. Very criminal.
Oh man, you got any last words for the people, man?
Be safe, people. I'm out talk, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm still upset.
Oh man. Hey man, we hope y'all enjoyed this episode. This Driver Juice podcast. Baby, we on all streaming apps, man. So hey, be sure to listen to us, man. We got a social media, we got an Instagram page, we got a Facebook page, man. I heard people, hey, what'd you say your partner said we need to get on?
Uh uh what's that Clubhouse?
Clubhouse. We'll look into that. But all this new shit, man. We kind of old veterans, but guess
Yeah,
you gotta adapt with the times, right?
yeah, you do.
So yeah, man, check us out, man. Hey, my man Meech just dropped shoes on y'all, man. If y'all interested in the stock market, hey, he like he said, be safe. Do your
Yeah,
research.
be safe. Do your research. Yeah. Oh, now I will say one last thing. Ultimately, my biggest life lesson for the stock market: if you don't believe in it, don't buy it. If you believe in it, buy. If you don't believe in it, don't buy because you're gonna be able to withstand the ups and downs if you believe in it. Because the stock ain't gonna go up 100% of the time. So when it goes down $4 or $5, $10, and you believe in that product, stay in the trade. No, don't get weak hands. So palms sweaty and clammy. No, really believe. I think they don't teach that enough. Like they say know what you trading, but I say believe in whatever company you're investing in after you do your research. If you can see a future in it and hold it and don't think about it. Whatever happens, happens.
Facts. Facts. without further ado, man, y'all have a blessed night, man.
Yeah.
Dropping Jews tuning out, player. Hey, me, you on it? What you done?